Okay, let me see if I can explain some of this garbage going on with everybody being afraid of apps on smartphones, etc., nowadays. Back in ancient times when people like me were knocking out code by chiseling it into stone tablets, we basically had Fortran, COBOL, basic programming language, and machine language has always been around. And what happened is when we wanted to access the disk, we had to write into our program, tell the program how to access the disk. When we wanted it to print, we had to tell it how to print. Well, as years went by and Pascal, C++, other things came along, DOS started to go away, and Windows became a new operating system, we started deciding that wasn't real bright. Why don't we write a subcode on how to access a file on a hard drive? Why don't we write subcode on how to access a printer and print? And then when we want to write a new program, we'll just write the major part of the program, the bulk of the program. And when we want to print, we'll just go in and grab that print module over here instead of rewriting it from scratch again. When we want to access a camera, we'll go access the camera module from here rather than totally rewriting the camera module again. When we want to access network, we'll grab the network module. We never rewrite that code again. We just rewrite the bulk of the inside where the intelligence needs to be to make it figure out a weather pattern of a hurricane. We don't, when we're doing that portion, we don't need to rewrite how to display that on a computer screen. We can grab that module from the shelf, just add it in our code. They're basically called dynamically linked libraries. So what you have in these smartphone apps and stuff, you have a little module setting aside for accessing contacts, for accessing camera, for accessing print functions, screen functions, messenger functions. We don't rewrite all of that each time anymore. What we do is we write the main part that's going to take your face and contort it into this cute little cat picture, and notice where your mouth is, and make the cat talk with your voice. When you want to send that to a friend, we link in the contacts module so that it can go into your contacts and look up the friend you tell it to look up to send it to. That's what's going on here. All these sub things you see, this has access to my life history, this has access to my contacts, this has access to my email, this has access to my video camera, this has access to my photographs. No. That's just what those modules are named. What it is that those little modules are setting aside to be used when you choose to use them. If you choose to use your camera to take a photograph and send it to your mother, that app has to have the access to the photographic module to be able to use your camera. It has to have access to your contacts to have access to your mother's email address. Now we can do away with all that if you want to have to type that in every time again. No? So that's what's going on here. If you don't want to have to re-enter that data time and time and time again, then we've made these little modules. We set them aside for the programmer who writes the new program. It's a program that looks at your lawn, and by using the camera, it calculates how many square feet of your lawn is needed. And then it uses the camera app to do that. It uses the print app to print out how many square feet you have. It uses the access to the network so it can look up where the nearest garden shop is. So you can take that piece of paper down there and say, my lawn has 50 square feet in it. How many bags of fertilizer and weed killer do I need? That's what's going on here. Don't let people scare you. They're going to do it. Besides writing viruses, these cute little crazy kids and Neanderthals also write articles and stuff about your camera is going to take pictures of you in the bathroom while you're naked. Even though it's down in the basement, it's somehow going to do that. It's just to scare you. They get great pleasure out of causing you pain. They just laugh and roll on the floor. Especially when they see articles coming up on the internet going, watch out for Messenger app. It takes your address, it takes pictures of you and sends them to everybody on your contacts list. And then they get to see that being spread around the world and thousands of people saying, look what this does. I'm never going to use that. And they get to roll on the floor and look at those idiots. They believed what I was saying. Ha ha ha. That's what's really happening here. You're getting played for a fool. So don't spread that garbage. Don't buy into that garbage. No company is going to make $16 million a week and then put something into their hardware and software that's going to do that to people so that people won't use it. They will quit making money. But the slimy little people out there in the world who want to make fun, I've got friends on Facebook. They put up some kind of post and then they sit back and wait for people to make comments so they can make fun of it. Those are not the kind of people you want doing things to you and passing stuff along. So this just kind of bothers me because it is my profession. And I see these little wimps writing viruses, writing hoaxes to go out and scare the daylights out of you. By the way, another thing they do is they write a hoax that will grab your attention, that will cause you to click here to save yourself from this hoax. And that's when you click and allow the virus to come into your computer. On Facebook, they will write a hoax. This Messenger app takes pictures of you when you're naked and sends it to all your friends without your knowledge, so that you will click on it and spread it. And what you're really doing is you are sending back to them your Facebook ID so they can then sell it or target you for marketing or other things. I'm not going to get too deep into the things they do because I don't want to scare you about the things they do. But the long and the short of it is 99% of this stuff is just to make you go crazy, just like it does. And they just roll in the floor laughing at the stupid people. Don't be one of the stupid people. Think about it. Google is not going to write a messenger app to cause problems that will lose them customers. Now, a slimy programmer will take Google's photographic module that was set aside to be used by regular programmers when you want to take a picture and you don't want to rewrite the code and you want to send it to a friend and the contacts module is used. They will use those modules to do those things in a virus and stuff. But if you have security and antivirus software on your machine, it looks through at all the companies that have sent in to Microsoft, Google and stuff, and had their software validated as as benign software. They're supposed to use that. So don't get fooled by all this garbage. Don't get upset by it. And for God's sakes, don't pass along all these hoaxes to other people to upset them. There's enough real stuff upsetting people in the world right now without jumping at every black cat that runs across the street. Black cats aren't bad luck. I think they're beautiful myself. So relax a little bit. Wait until the dog bites you before you get worried about the dog. And for God's sakes, don't pass along these things on the spur of the moment, because it's the hackers' way of upsetting you real quick so that you won't think about what's going on before you click on a link you shouldn't click on, or pass this hoax on to hundreds of other people who pass it on. And every time somebody clicks share, that goes back to that person's home page, and they got Vernon, they got Samantha, they got all these places now where they are sure that a human exists at that address so that they can further target that deeply. So when you do these things, you're playing right into their hands. Relax. Computer people aren't out to get you. They're out to help you. They're out to make your life easier. Not doing too good with the spell checkers, are we? But we're working on it. It's a lot better than it was 10 years ago. I get kind of upset when people are so fearful of the technology, and I get really upset when the young hackers and stuff write these hoaxes and stuff in order to data mine good people's Facebook IDs so they can go back later and target them, see if they have weak passwords, and get into their stuff. Because if they have known good addresses to target, that's a whole lot better than trying to target people that they don't even know that exist. They're wasting their time if they try to target XYZ.com when XYZ.com may not exist. If they know that all the people who clicked like or shared their page exist, they know there's something on the other side. It's kind of like, do you go fishing in a pond where you don't know whether there are fish there or not? If the fish had Facebook accounts and could say, I live in such and such a pond, and they could pass that along and everybody liked, look, this is a great pond, the hackers would go and fish in that pond because they know that it contains many, many fish. And the pond next door that they don't know that anybody lives in, they're not going to spend their time on that. Very frustrating to see so many hoaxes passed along so easily and quickly. Don't be paranoid. The computer people are also writing antivirus programs and security programs to help you be safe from that we call ourselves white hats. The people who used to do the hacking, sort of like I used to do, are called black hats. I hung up my black hat years ago, especially when I went into business for myself. Just trust on the face value of things, the new technologies. They are there to enhance your life, make it easier, and make the people who are putting it out money. It's the freebie things that say click here to win $1,000, or click here to keep yourself from being hit by this terrible, terrible thing on the internet. It's a tenuous thing they're talking about. It's a hoax, but they scare the daylights out of you. Antivirus dropper viruses are one of the ones, and a lot of you have seen these. You're surfing along the internet, you hit a page with an antivirus dropper on it, suddenly the screen turns red. It says, danger, 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 click here to download software to remove this virus. It's a complete hoax. If you just shut down your browser when you see it instead of falling for their BS and getting all scared and paranoid and clicking on the link, you're fine. But what they're counting on is that you, in the spur of a moment of paranoia, click on the link which actually should read install virus, when it does read download antivirus program. And that's what's really going on here. The more you settle down and be comfortable with what's going on and take these scare tactics with a grain of salt, the safer you're going to be. The more you buy into the paranoia, the less safe you're going to be. I hope this helps somebody out there.